Well, in the first half of the show, the Werthstein vote was 19. Now, that's a long way down from the 29 that we had last time. And the 29 turned out to be pretty good in the sense that global stock markets have risen since our last show. But the 19 is saying that we are significantly more cautious looking ahead from here. But that doesn't mean there are no investment opportunities. We still think that we can see opportunities in zeitgeists, areas of the world economy that are set for faster growth than the general economy. And this month we're going to look at two particular zeitgeists, Internet 4.0 and robotics. Stefan, tell us please about Internet 4.0.
Imagine you're running out of butter or milk is scarce. Not you anymore, it's your fridge what orders new supplies directly from an e-commerce grocer. Or imagine that you are on a driving holiday and you reach the mileage at which the car service is due. You don't have to bother with the tedium of sorting that out. Your car makes the appointment with the garage directly. And during you on holiday, you can record a TV show to see that when you are back. These are all examples showing that the possibilities offered by the internet are far from being exhausted. We are speaking about the Internet 4.0. It is estimated that by 2020 some 50 billion devices ranging from fridges to cars to TVs will be connected to the internet. These will stimulate more e-commerce, more need for online payments and credit system, more need for powerful cybersecurity, extra functionality on smartphones. Therefore, this zeitgeist invests in companies that benefiting from this new phase of growth of the World Wide Web.
Stefan, thank you very much. I mean, it sounds a good growth case, but just tell us a bit about which companies are going to benefit. Is it just the big names like Amazon and Google, or does it go beyond that?
Of course, they will grow further with these next step of the internet, and also payment systems, MasterCard if you like, as one company, cybersecurity as I mentioned. What I'm missing in the moment, and perhaps it's a bit too early for that, are the companies who are really focused on, let's say, the technologies measuring how much milk you have in the fridge and sending them the order to it. If we can in the future identify companies like that, it would make this zeitgeist more interesting than today, but it's already interesting because it will maintain the growth of the whole industry.
All right, well, clearly there are opportunities there. Let's now come on to robotics. Valerie.
Yes. Robotics and the global robotics market is especially growing, and especially in Asia. There are serious growth potential here. The market is expected to reach $1.2 trillion of investment by 2025. That's an annual average growth rates of about 35%. Now, there are four broad areas in this particular sector. Industrial robots, they're spreading beyond the auto sector and switching into the new words you have to remember, which is cobots, domestic robots, personal robots, and chatbots. So an equity index covering specific robotics companies as well as generalist companies had a great 10 years run until mid-2014. Since then, it fell back for a while, but recently it has been rising again. So there is a powerful global industry here with really considerable growth potential ahead.
Valerie, just help me out here. Cobots, that is a new word. What does that actually mean?
Well, it's the diminutive for cooperative robots. Basically, industrial companies and industrial robots that will interact with humans in a totally safe environment. So end of the barrier, protected, one arm, big threatening robots coming in, those mobile robots, perfectly safe, helping humans on the factory floor.
So all those articles I've been reading about how robots are somehow kind of in conflict with humans. This is the complete opposite of that.
I don't think so. They're not in conflict. They're going to come and help them. That's already the case. It's happening. It's happening also in all the domestic area, but also when we say domestic, these are the small, items that are getting really affordable now that you can have in your house. And it's also in all the medical sector. And it's helping elderly people, it's helping disabled people, and it's also helping them not only on the physical part, but also on the intellectual aspect of reading faces, emotions. This is the kind of interaction we're talking about. This is fantastic, I think.
I know, it sounds good. And then the other thing you mentioned was chatbots. Just tell me about that.
Well, that's the part of the robots we don't see, but we can interact with via the internet. These are the people, or the robots, I should say, we're chatting with. When you ask questions on the internet, you get an answer which actually comes from a robot.
And I thought that was a nice person, but there you are. Christine, how would you take it from here?
I think it's all absolutely fascinating, and both stories have got amazing opportunities. But I do worry about automating everything. I mean, people have still got to have things to do. And my other worry, I think, is that also it's important that you have a faint idea how things work. You know, when I was a girl, you had a man with a screwdriver came along to mend something. And the further away these things get from your everyday common sense approach, if you like, the more you're completely vulnerable if there's a problem, power cut or cyber security attack or something. You know, it's quite worrisome. You'd be sitting there in your house with no lights and no food because your fridge hasn't reordered the milk.
Yeah, no, I see that. Stefan, what's your kind of thought about that?
Yeah, as long this is all in the process was defined, so there's a list of problems what could occur and you have a solution for that. But if there happens something, what you could not foresee, then you have really a problem. We know as it is with cars. So if your car is broken today, so no one can help you anymore. In earlier times, they come with a screwdriver. Now you have to put the car and bring it directly to the garage. So that's really a point.
It's also a point. It's not just the garage. It's actually the main dealer garage. It's not the little man on the corner, because he can't do it anymore because he's got neither the hardware, the software to do it. Which means you're putting more power in the hands of bigger businesses.
Well, now, is this right? I mean, Valerie, could the robots perhaps even help with this problem?
I think they could. I think also there will be humans behind those machines and also the capacity to repair them. I'm more on the optimist side. I think what we see here, and if I were to be cautious, is more that some of those robots are more on the developing side still, especially when they interact with humans in terms of helping them, helping the elderly, but the medical part is tremendous. Yes. And it won't really change the fact that you need a good surgeon, but he's going to have enhanced capacities and preciseness to do things. Exactly. So that's hugely important, and of course in dangerous areas of dealing with some kind of businesses.
Demolition or something.
Exactly, fantastic. And recycling things and all. So I think, and of course prices are coming down and costs are coming down. So I think it's inevitable. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great on the factory floor. But of course, I'm biased. I was welcomed by a robot in Japan in a store, and it's fun. I must say it's fun. And it's still a limited area. I didn't feel overwhelmed.
I quite like the notion of a robotic vacuum cleaner, though. That would be rather nice. But then would it fall down the stairs?
No, I am fascinated by the way Japan has become a market leader because they've got such a labour market shortage, actually. But I mean, Stefan, in Europe, we don't have a labour market shortage. We've got the opposite. We've got actually unemployment. Is there a problem, do you think, that robotics and perhaps the internet as well are going to kind of actually make it more difficult to employ people, or what do you feel?
So this is a problem we have since we have the more automatic of the production. But the bigger problem in my mind since the 90s is not that robots take over the work of the workers. It is more that we bring the work and the factories to Eastern Europe or to China. That's the bigger problem regarding the employment situation, let's say in Portugal or Spain, where all the textile industry left because it's too expensive to be there, or the UK, of course. But this will go on, and we not just have an economic, we need more than an economic view on this. We need a social view on it. What should we do with this less work we will have in the end, and how can we share that with all the people, that we have not this amount of unemployment people and the other ones, creative ones who build the robots, and have to finance the other ones. So
yep, these are great big issues. But now look, as investors, where do we think really the opportunity is here? I mean, Valerie, you pointed out that the robotics have, after a good 10-year run, have had a softer period. I like that, because I like going in when things are just a little bit down. But Stefan, I think some of the companies you've mentioned, the bigger ones, have just been going up and up and up. Are they perhaps a bit toppy here?
That's exactly the point, and also my concern. I really like the story. I like it more than the robot story, because that's not a new story for me. I remember I was a child on the Hannover Messe called Seabit today, and there had been all these robots looking like these 3PO from Star Wars. And for me, that's not the new story. But the problem with the Internet 4.0 story is you don't have these focused companies, and the big companies are all run very well. That means it's priced in. We don't find something here with a discount or something what other people have not discovered. That perhaps make for the investment, the robots, a bit more attractive.
All right, look, I think that's a very good summing up, actually, a lot of the points. So now let's move to the vote. And I'm going to ask each of the panel members to vote either for robotics, please, or for Internet 4.0. And Valerie, please, could you begin?
Well, Giles, definitely robotics. I think we're coming into a new generation, new market, new opportunities, and good pricing.
Thank you. Stefan?
So also robots. So my story, Internet 4.0, was better, no question in that. But as I said, the investment opportunities are better now. You get it with a discount. So that's the reason why I also, in the end, on your side.
Christine?
And I'm on robots as well. I want a robot lawnmower, please.
All right, well, I'm on robots as well. I really am convinced by the argument that we're entering a new growth phase there. So that's actually 4 votes, and that means robotics is the new Werthstein zeitgeist, and that comes in alongside biotech, which we voted for last time, and all of the other zeitgeists. Thank you very much to all of the panel, to Valerie, to Stefan, to Christine, and we will see you at the next show.